Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have the dark versus the light, the Druki versus the Asur. We have PrussianPrince is leading the forces of the Druki, and we have paddywampus leading the High Elves. So for the Dark Elf forces, today we have, of course, Malekith on his Cold One. He is bringing Gaze of Malice and Soul Stealer, and we have a Master with his Guardian ability. For the front line, pretty light. We just have a couple Bleak Swords, a couple Dread Spears, and in the back we have 3 Cold One Knights. And on the far flank, though, we have 3 Scourgerunner Chariots, and we have Slaanesh's Harvesters with Word of Pain and another Soul Stealer. So it's pretty much a very light frontline infantry, not going to be doing any stopping power there. Their stopping power is going to be in their Scourge Runners and their Cav. And then Malekith will pretty much just be support. On his Cold One, he won't be doing quite as much. But for the forces of the High Elves, their front line is Silver and Guard, 2 White Lions of Trace, a couple Spearmen protecting 3 Lothern Sea Guard. And then we have 3 Lyran Reaver Archers, one of which actually being the Heralds of the Wind ROR, essentially just a faster, stronger cavalry unit. Is pretty much better in every way. Better melee stats, a little bit better missile attack, and quite a bit faster, which is probably its biggest boon. And we have Teclis leading the forces, and he has quite the kit brought out today. Let's see if we do a quick little look. He has Net of Ammontok, he has the Enfeebling Foe, Regrowth, his Potion of Koroi, and of course his Bound Fiery Convocation. And that will wrap up the forces. So let's get things underway as the skirmishers have already opened up. The Dark Elves, firing into the Lyran Reaver Archers. They will be able to trade very, very well, actually, in that engagement. The Lyran Reaver Archers may be able to get some damage down, but they won't be taking out any models anytime soon. And it doesn't look like the High Elves really have anything to catch them. The Heralds of the Wind, they will be able to actually, I think they catch them, because if we take a look, they have, only 84 speed, so even the regular Reaver Archers can catch the Scourge Runners. They just won't be able to do a whole lot of damage, and that's probably not advisable. But the Dark Elves are closing the gap very fast, even though they do have a bit of the skirmishing advantage. It looks like we have an enfeebling Net of Ammontok, going down, catching a few of the units, preventing the charge of these Cold One Knights and the assistance of the Bleak Swords. As Teclis kind of jumps in, tries to get as much damage as he can onto Malekith, who he is doing quite a bit. Luckily, Malekith does have his Master close by, and he is going to drop one of his Soul Stealers to kind of get as much of that health back as he can, though he is returning the damage actually very well against Teclis. Teclis, he has that Soul Stealer now. He's taking quite a bit of damage. He probably really should have dropped that Potion of Koroi pretty quickly there. But man, Teclis is just taking a lot of damage. This just goon squad and massive amount of Dark Elf infantry is really taking it to him. That's very bad for the High Elves losing that so quickly. We do have, the Heralds of the Wind are trying to catch these Scourge Runners, but they are probably going to be routing just as they do. Now we have the Cold One Knights and Slaanesh's Harvesters are kind of coming up the rear, though Teclis is out for now. We'll see if he is able to come back. He has Word of Pain on him as well. But that's not really going to affect much on his leadership. He should be coming back, though. He can get a nice chunky regrowth, and he should be pretty good as new. But the balance power is definitely in the favor of the Dark Elves. So if we kind of look and see what else is going on, the mobility of the Dark Elves is really reigning supreme here, even though their infantry is very, very light. All they have to do is hold for a short time while the hammer and anvil of the Cold One Rider or Cold One Knights come in. So see, we have Teclis back. He did cast his regrowth, and he has a fiery convocation. Looks like it's coming down. It's going to cut right through the middle of these forces. I don't think that was necessarily necessary. But he was able to break these units already, and the infantry of the High Elves is much better. I think that really needs to be done on the mobility department, because if we take a look back, you see the Scourge Runners have really cleaned up the skirmishing force for the High Elves. Just absolutely tearing into these Lyran Reaver Archers. Looks like we have a net going down somewhere, as it looks like he cut out. No, it doesn't look like he cut out Master. He cut out Malekith with the Net of Ammontok. Trying to get as much damage in the back, trying to actually prevent them from getting into the archers as much. But really, another very nice Soul Stealer going down, catching a lot of units. So that'd be very good for Malekith, as the High Elves are kind of been pushed back very, very well by the Dark Elves here. Let's see. It looks like, pretty much all of the skirmish cav is completely gone for the High Elves, and it's just down to their infantry, which is nothing to slouch at. The Silverin Guard will do very well. It looks like we have 2 units of those. One is doing very well at health, the other is about half. Another Soul Seed. This one's probably from the Doomfire Warlocks, or not Doomfire, the Celestial Harvesters, which is the ROR unit. Doing very well. Catching pretty much all of them. That is the problem. When you do blob up, you are susceptible to that, which pretty much the Dark Elves, you can almost guarantee if you're going to be seeing Malekith or the Celestial Harvesters, that is going to be a very prominent ability. But yeah, right now we have the Scourge Runners are firing into Teclis. He just needs to try and heal up as much as he can. Another net going down on these Cold One Knights, trying to keep these Lothern Sea Guard active as long as they can. But the lines for the High Elves is really kind of jumbled up right now. I think Teclis actually probably could have swooped in on these Cold One Knights, getting a little bit of damage there, get his charge on them. But it looks like he is going for the Master. As a Gaze of Malice is going to be going down, clipping through the Spearmen. But yeah, see, these Cold One Knights have been pushed back. These Silverin Guard should do very well against the Cold One Knights. They are wavering and routing now. And it does look like the High Elves are going to be breaking here. Pretty much across the board. It looks like it is just Teclis left. We take a quick look, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. I'm actually really surprised on how much damage he is taking from each attack by Malekith, and that will be our game as army losses cause the rest of the High Elves to rout. So you take a quick look at the after report here, and yeah, I think that was kind of really the biggest, almost I guess biggest surprise. Just how much damage Malekith and the Master was able to dish out to Teclis, who is a very tanky lord on his Phoenix. I think a couple potions of Koroi could have been used a little better, especially in that initial engagement. I think that could have saved Teclis and really kept him in the fight for longer, allowing him to assist that frontline engagement kind of right when they needed to. And I think they are also a little too aggressive with their Eleven Reaver archers. These archers should have just, once they saw these Scourge Runners, they really should have been trying to avoid them because they were faster than them. So been able to get their shots off onto the Cold One Knights instead of the Scourge Runners, who they really didn't have an effective way to damage them. They needed to keep them in range of the Lothern Sea Guard if they wanted to, but I think you almost had to have left these Scourge Runners to get their shots in, deal with the Cold One Knights as best you can. And I mean, Celestial Harvesters, I think, probably would have been the best choice for their arrows. But yeah, that was a very well-played game, especially by the Dark Elf side. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And as always, have a good one.